5.2% in 2020. And this was mainly due to the fact that both the long and short rain seasons had less than expected rainfall in the year, and this led to higher food prices. We also note that oil prices were higher in 2021, and that also led to an uptick in inflation. And this was mainly due to the fact that a lot of the economic activity, which had slowed down in 2020, started to pick up in 2021 across the globe, and that of course led to higher demand for oil, leading to higher prices. In 2022, we are also likely to keep seeing inflation trending upwards. We continue to see oil prices trending higher given the global conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and we would also expect to see food prices remaining elevated. Next, we touch on currency, and we note that the Kenya shilling was weaker against the dollar in the year. We saw the shilling depreciating by about 3.5% in 2021 to close at 113.14 to the dollar. And this was mainly due to the fact that a lot of the foreign exchange earners for the Kenyan economy were yet to fully recover to pre-COVID-19 levels. We have seen a decline in export receipts as well as a decline in tourism receipts. And the dollar itself was also stronger in the year, and that led to the depreciation that we saw in the currency. Going forward, we would still expect to see a bit of pressure on the shilling this year, and we would expect to again see a marginal depreciation against the dollar. Next, we touch on the interest rate environment. We did see interest rates rising in the year in 2021, and this was mainly due to tighter market liquidity, so there was less money to lend to the government, and we also saw higher demand from the government for domestic borrowing just to fill in the budget deficit and to be able to fund projects and government operations. Going forward, we would still expect to see interest rates continuing on a gradual upward trend as the government continues to rely on domestic investors to fund the budget. Finally, touching on the equities market, we note that equities return was positive in 2021. The NSE All Share Index recorded a gain of 9.4% in 2021, which was quite good. We would expect to see a bit of volatility in equities markets in 2022. We are aware that it is an election year, and we usually tend to see a bit of a slowdown in the equities market in an election year. But over the long term, we would expect to see a recovery in the market. We now go into the investment report, and we will begin by looking at the movements in the portfolio. So members, we opened the financial year with a balance of 12.5 billion. We received contributions of 1.3 billion. We also processed withdrawals and expenses of approximately 715 million, and that brought net contributions for the period to 577.7 million. When you factor in the investment activities that we undertook in the year, we recorded investment growth of 1.8 billion. And when you factor in all those movements, we closed the financial year with a value of 14.9 billion in assets under management. Looking at the asset allocation of the fund, and this just refers to the various instruments that the fund was invested in, we held cash and cash equivalents of about 216.4 million, which is approximately 1.5% of the fund. We also had some call and fixed deposits. These are just deposits that we place with various banks in order to earn a return at 1.5 billion, approximately 10% of the fund. Corporate bonds stood at 15 million. Treasury bonds stood at 9.5 billion, approximately 63.8% of the fund. And equities stood at 3.6 billion, approximately 24.4% of the fund. So members, the fund was compliant with the limits that have been set out by the Retirement Benefits Authority for all the asset classes. And finally, members, just touching on performance. So the portion of the funds that are managed by the two fund managers recorded a return of 14.6% for the financial year. So thank you, members, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for your presentation on behalf of the two fund managers. I think Matthew is camera shy, so he opted to let the lady do it. But thank you, Matthew, for your presence. Now, as you have heard, the funds of Lab Fund are invested in different asset classes. And from the chair lady's report and also the administrator's report, there are parts of Lab Fund funds which are still in debt. And there's also funds that are in property investments. So those totaling with the funds held by the fund managers and management make the total of the 52 billion that the CEO presented on. Now, it is also a requirement of the retirement benefit regulations that the scheme should have a custodian, and also part of the tenets of good governance on separation of powers and roles. And that is why the trustees developed the investment policy statement. The fund managers offer investment advisory and selection of investments, portfolios to be invested in. And the custodians come in to hold the assets and to make settlement of transactions. So it is my pleasure now to welcome our custodian from KCB, represented by Elizabeth Mozige, to give her report. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Board of Trustees, the CPF team, representative from RBA, esteemed members, good morning. I'm representing KCB Bank Kenya today as the custodian of Lab Fund assets. So in my presentation, allow me to just speak briefly about who KCB is, and then I'll touch on the role of the custodian and give our report for the assets that we held for the year under review. So to just introduce KCB, we are one of the largest financial services institutions in the region. And as at 31st of March of 2022, we held a total asset book of 1.2 trillion Kenya shillings. We are operating in 7 countries within the region, in Kenya, Tanzania, South Sudan, Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, and we have a representative office in Ethiopia. We are also listed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange and cross-listed in Tanzania, Uganda, and Rwanda stock exchanges. As at 31st of December of 2021, we did have about 28.4 million customers across the region who are being served across various touch points. So we have 492 branches, over 1,000 ATMs, and in excess of 25,000 agents and merchants to allow our customers transact in a seamless manner. So as the custodian of Lab Fund, we are charged with the responsibility of ensuring that the financial assets of the scheme are safely kept, and we also service the portfolio relating to the assets. So broadly, our responsibilities as a custodian is to ensure that the assets of the scheme are safe and to also carry out the transaction settlement of those securities. So while the fund manager designs the investment portfolio and offers advice to the board of trustees of the fund, the custodian then implements the investment instructions to either purchase or sell the investments. So when we carry out the purchase of investments, we ensure that we have the documents of title to account for that purchase. And where sales have been carried out, then we ensure that the proceeds from the sale are credited into your scheme account correctly. We also provide reports to account for the investment portfolio transactions. So as you've seen, we have the segregation of the roles. So where the fund manager is to ensure that they optimize the investment returns, the custodian then carries out administration and asset servicing. This model then allows for transparency of operation, reduces risks, and adds value to the portfolio. So we do carry out a comprehensive range of custody services. So I had mentioned, besides safekeeping of assets, we do the transaction processing. And while we are processing those instructions, then we're ensuring that we are settling those instructions within the market timelines. In terms of asset servicing, we do ensure that the income arising out of those investments is correctly credited into your scheme account. We also monitor receipt of contributions as at when they come in and report that to the Board of Trustees. We also assist your Board of Trustees in processing of member benefits. So when the instructions come in, we ensure that we do release those funds in a timely manner. We also do compliance monitoring to ensure that the scheme assets are invested in accordance with the retirement benefits investment guidelines, as well as this investment policy statement for the fund. We also carry out reporting to your Board of Trustees. We do meet them on a quarterly basis, and we are also mandated to meet the members in a day like today in the AGM, just to confirm the assets. I also wish to confirm that we do the reporting on a quarterly basis to the regulator and file the relevant returns. So to operate as a custodian, I wish to confirm that we are licensed by Central Bank of Kenya as a commercial bank under the Banking Act. We have the license from Capital Markets Authority as an authorized depository, and we are also licensed by Retirement Benefits Authority to hold the assets of pension funds in safe custody. We are also required to maintain a segregated bank account for the scheme, and I do confirm that that one is in place to ensure that any income or contributions received are credited to the account. So we do not commingle the funds for our clients. We also keep proper books of record for the scheme, indicating the investment activity that has been carried out, and this assists in the preparation of audited accounts. I also confirm that the bank has the technical capacity and the adequate operational system to be able to service pension funds. Members, I wish to confirm that the assets of local authorities provident fund were maintained in segregated accounts, and that all the investments that were executed were done in accordance with the fund manager instructions. I also confirm that reporting on assets under custody was carried out to the trustees as per the RBA guidelines. And finally, that the assets of the local authorities provident fund are detailed in the audited accounts for the year ended 30th June of 2021, as was confirmed by the auditor. Thank you, members. And in closing, just to confirm that the assets of the fund we are holding on behalf of the scheme in our custody are safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Members, as you have seen and heard, we place great importance in the administration of your funds, your savings, by choosing the best of the best in terms of our service providers. Now, the regulator of the entire retirement benefits industry in Kenya is the Retirement Benefits Authority. We are in compliance, as the CEO mentioned, with the regulations, but we don't speak for ourselves. In our midst, the Retirement Benefits Authority is represented by Mr. Peter Mugambi, and with confidence, I welcome him to come and give his report on our compliance and the new trends in the market. Welcome, Mr. Mugambi.
The Board of Trustees, service providers, members present here and those who are listening on our online platform, good morning. Today I have a role as my name is Peter Mugambi Muthuri. I'm here to represent the Retirement Benefits Authority. For those who do not know what is the role of the RBA, we were formed by Act number 3 of 1997, and we opened offices in October 2000. We are given a mandate to do 5 things to do under the Act. The first thing that we should do was to regulate the establishment and management of pension schemes in this country. We are given another role to protect the interests of sponsors and members. You're also required to develop the industry, to grow the industry, and ensure you promote the growth of the industry. When we opened offices in October 2000, the fund size in the market was something less than 100 billion. Today we are talking about 1.4 trillion funds in terms of what we are holding in the pension sector. We are also given a mandate to advise the Cabinet Secretary, the National Treasury, on all the matters related to pension. And lastly, we are given a mandate to implement all government policies related to pension. I want to confirm to you that the Love Fund Pension Provident Fund is a registered fund with us. Is actually a reasonably well-run scheme. From where we sit, we look at a pension scheme based on RISCO. We do what we call risk-based provision model. It's one of well reasonable run schemes. We actually prioritize 25% of the most risky scheme to put our energies on. The only challenge you have with this particular scheme matters to do with compliance. I can confirm whatever the administrator has said and the people who came before me that it is very compliant. The only challenge is the unremitted contribution. And I want to challenge the sponsors, the county governments, and all other sponsors in this particular scheme to ensure they support on that sector, because members exit the scheme. We need them to exit with something to take home. And we urge also the unions for the members to put a bit of pressure to the sponsors to ensure that they remit the unlimited contribution. I'll go to the changes that I've done, the recent changes in law that are of importance. The first change is the post-retirement medical fund. We have come up with an initiative that allows members to save for their retirement while they are still in employment. We realize human beings are like old cars. As you grow older, you need medical cover. So we are requiring members to, as the schemes, to put a provision in their trust and rules to allow members to be able to save for their medical while in retirement. We also come with another initiative, the mortgage regulation. We are now having a provision where members can access up to 40% of the accumulated benefits to be able to purchase residential home. Not off plans, residential homes which are ready, up to 40% and a maximum of 7 million. What is the role of trustees on this? The trustees have to provide procedures and rules on how the members will assess. The members should be able to assess the 40% accumulated benefits. If they apply, the trustees are required to approve within 90 days. They can approve or disapprove. They should also provide rules for the members who want to combine with their spouses or combine from other schemes to be able to assess that facility. This provision allows the funds to actually exit the scheme so that members can own homes. We realize in our own research that members of the scheme use a bulk of their money in the two things I've spoken about here today, medical and housing. So you sort the medical and then you sort the housing. So when they retire, someone will have to use their funds in other ways. The trustees also give us quarterly reports on the approvals that they have made on the mortgage. The other change in the law is the issue to do with corporate trustees. Corporate trustees previously were not licensed by the authority. We have individual trustees for the schemes, but you also have instances where you have corporate trustees, which are usually banks and other companies. So you require these corporate trustees now to be licensed by us, and we give them licenses, and we can also do inspection to them. The authority also has been given powers to give extensions on the audited accounts. If there is like when you had pandemic, there were instances where there were delays, so authority has now powers to extend the submission of the audited accounts. The trustees have now powers to appoint Kenya Revenue Authority as an agent to collect the unremitted contribution. The trustees can actually give the KRA powers to collect on their behalf the unremitted contribution, and once they invoke that, KRA can issue an agent notice, can also attach the bank accounts for those sponsors that are not remitting, and KRA, after collecting those funds, should remit them to the scheme within 30 days. There's the issue of related parties. There's no trust corporation, and going forward should appoint a related party. If you are a trust corporation, say why. You cannot appoint an administrator or a custodian or a fund manager related to you by management, by directorship, by ownership, or even by employment. So to ensure that there is no conflict of interest. Another milestone is in locking in the accumulated funds Previously, members, if they exited employment while they are still in, if they exited employment, they would assess, before attaining retirement age, you would assess 75% of your accumulated benefits. Going forward, members now can only assess only 50% of your accumulated benefits. In law, we call it paternalistic clause, protecting you against yourself. We ensure as an authority, if you are able to locate 100% so that you would not be able to assess the benefits until you reach retirement age is better for us. The other issue is actual valuation for the DB schemes. We extended the period from 5 to 6 months of submission of after the end of the financial year. So those are the major legal changes. And on behalf of the authority, I would like to encourage members and the trustees here to encourage members to do what we call addition of voluntary contributions to ensure that they have accumulated a lot of benefits to be able to have better retirement. And on behalf of the authority, I wish to thank you for listening in, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mugambi. On behalf of the regulator, we value the partnership, the guidance, and the direction that we receive from time to time from the Retirement Benefits Authority. This is one authority that has put on the cape of a regulator in a friendly way, not like a policeman, but like a partner. And we appreciate you. Now it is time for members to ask their questions, which we shall respond to. And I will ask the Corporation Secretary to read out the questions. And then we will have the scheme administrator, the CEO, responding. And where maybe a question is directed to the trustees, the board chair will respond.
Thank you. With us, we have 3 questions. The question number 1, members are asking why they were not invited to this AGM. Question number 2, members are asking, now that it was reported that they can get their statements online, how, on what platform? The other one is whether they can get loans from LAP Fund. And the 4th question is now that there is a project going on in Kisumu, when the project will be completed. So those are the 4 that we have received so far.
Thank you so much, Madam Kellen. I think all those questions fall under the purview of the scheme administrator, Mr. David Koros. I therefore invite you to the podium. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Veronica, for those questions, and thank you, members, for asking those questions. We still invite more questions from the members. It looks like there are challenges in posting questions online, because I know we have quite a number of members in attendance online, and I know questions will start coming in, so we'll be answering those questions for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe before I even go ahead and answer members' the first question, I think I would like to say that, as I said in my comments earlier, that we are holding this AGM on the background of a very difficult operating environment in terms of health protocols, in terms of investments I've had from the fund managers, and overall, in terms of assessment of how we have done in the fund, as a fund, I think we have done well. Only that the liquid part of the portfolio is a small part of is a small component. It's about 30% of it is the one which is yielding us returns. as I've mentioned. The bigger challenge which we have is on the unlimited portions. Would have done much more better if all contributions came in on time for investment. Would have even done much more better being a provident fund if we were like not paying out substantially. So we are forced to hold on to have the funds invested with a liquidity position in mind, that the scheme has to remain more liquid at all times. So our investment horizon is affected by our members, or rather our liquidity profile that we need. We will look at how many members are due to retirement, and their investment needs to be aligned to the members who will call in to withdraw their funds. So I think to answer the first question, why we have not invited our members to the AGM physically, I believe that because we have invited online. Members are invited already, and they are there online. I think the question, I didn't get the name of whoever asked this question. Again, we have not gotten the names, but somebody is asking why have members not been invited physically to the AGM. I think we have explained this. We are operating in a COVID environment, and we are told now we are seeing, or rather we are going through the 6th wave of COVID. It's around with us, even as we speak. And even if you look at our sitting arrangement here, for those who are present, we've tried as much as possible to observe social distance. Social distance was one of the guidelines given by the Ministry of Health, that we need to observe distances, social distancing, we need to put on masks, and we need not to crowd people in one place. Our members, when we hold our physical AGM, we normally have up to 1,500, upwards to 2,000 members attending. And there was a greater risk if we had all our members attending in an AGM like we usually do in Mombasa, and then having 2,000 people within a small environment in a tent. The risk was we would risk spreading COVID. So the provisions, as I've highlighted in my comments earlier, under the guidelines that were given, schemes or other companies were allowed to conduct online meetings and online AGMs. And I believe we are not the first ones. So we chose to do an online AGM. Our members will bear with us. Maybe our next AGM will be physical. So I believe I have dispensed off with that question, that concern, why members were not invited. I know that the other question which has been asked is on online statements. We have said we have been able to issue members with online statements continuously. Despite this, we also print statements, annual statements, once a year, and send them to the members through the county or through their points of employment, and in this case, largely through the HR departments in the counties and through the office of the county secretaries in the counties for our members. So I think that physical statements should be coming, but we have already dispatched them to even last year. I think we dispatched them actually sometime in September last year. I think September, October, latest by December, all statements were dispatched. However, because we talked of online statements, we have our members portal. I think most of the members are aware of this portal, and most of the members have been interacting there. I want to direct members to that portal, and there you can actually print out your own statement or check on your own statement. The other question which was asked was on loans to members. Why are we not giving out loans? Or can a member access loans with these savings? I think these are very common questions all through. And the answer has been fairly standard. Under the Retirement Benefits Act, we are not a SACCO, and we cannot provide loans. However, gradually, The gentleman from RBA would have been the right person to answer this, but I think I will attempt to answer. I think we have seen a gradual move in terms of the coming in of mortgage regulations. The only loans you can access as a member, through the pension scheme, is to use your pension savings. There is a provision, there is a mortgage regulation where a member is allowed by law now to commit up to 40% of his pension savings towards a mortgage. So I think that is provided for to members, and I think we have had to one or two members. So I think some few members are using that option or exercising that option of getting mortgage loans, pledging, of course, their pension savings as a collateral. So I think that is positive for pension schemes. RBA, I've heard you. I think there are reasons why we cannot give out loans to members, because every member would then be coming for a loan. Then at the end of the day, gradually, you end up being a circle. So I don't think we have that window for now of providing members with loans. Somebody asked a question about Makasembo development, housing development in Makasembo, and I appreciate the concern of the members, or rather that members are following up on what we are doing. We purposely developed Makasembo to address the housing needs of our members first and foremost, before we even think of other Kenyans as well as an investment. So we had our members in mind. We are also doing an investment. If you check Makasembo, we have what we call, it's largely an affordable housing project. And I would like to urge our members to invest in it and take advantage and buy. We might not give you preferential treatment because it's an investment for all of us. There are only 1,860 houses or units. But what we want to urge our members is, it's there already. I think we have commenced the selling process. The construction has started, and completion, because that was a question. We expect to have phase 1 completed within the next 12 to 14 months. So by mid next year, we'll have completed the first units in Makasembo. And in the next two to 3 years, we'll have completed all the 1,800 units. So this is a project which will be implemented in phases for purposes of also managing cash flow, in order for us to be able to also meet other obligations of the scheme. So these units will be available. I think I would want to urge members to contact us. Those who are around Kisumu you can go to all our regional offices, by the way, and find out information on how to apply for the units. And I would like to also announce that we've seen a very encouraging interest from members and general public. We have about 600, I think about 1,000 expressions of interest to buy the units. The last time I checked. We encourage our members to also be part of these people who are buying this unit. I think Makasembo is not the only housing unit we have. We also have a housing unit in in Mavoko, in Nairobi, in Machakos County, just with outskirts of Nairobi. We still have houses for sale, which is 3-bedroom housing units. It's in a gated community, and we are starting the sale from 9.6 million shillings. Again, our members around Nairobi are encouraged to buy, and even those around the country are encouraged to invest in it again. We will be looking at investment opportunities that will also carry the aspiration and interest of our members going forward. I think I've answered the questions that were there online. I don't know whether we have other questions.
Thank you. We have received 3 other questions.
Number one is the time that it takes for LAF Fund to process benefits to members. The other question is where LAF Fund offices are located. And the third question, a member is asking that if they have land, whether LAF Fund can build some houses for that member and take rent from the houses until the amount is paid up. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for those questions. Again, a member is asking time taken to process benefits. What time do we take to process benefits at LAF Fund? This has been, I think, a lingering question. For us at LAF Fund, I believe our members, some of our members who have already benefited or gotten their claims can bear as witness. We process claims or benefits to our members within 9 working days. 9 working days, that is, if all the documents are duly filled, all the required attachments are attached, and everything else has been signed, or rather cleared, clearances forms have been attached from the counties. Benefits, once received in each of our offices, wherever they are, within 9 working days, we are able to process claims and pay out. And I think our members can bear us witness on that. This, by the way I've said is we can launch a claim or benefits for benefits from whichever of our offices spread across the country. I'm trying to answer the second question, which is where our offices are located. We have our head office, principal head office in Nairobi, at 2nd Ngong Avenue, a building called 316 Upper Hill Chambers. We are occupying the 10th and the 11th floor. That's our head office. We moved from our previous location in the CBD to Upper Hill. We have offices, what we call regional offices, in Nakuru, at Polo Center, off Kenyatta Avenue in Nakuru. We have offices in Kisumu. We have offices in Mombasa. We have offices in Nyeri. We have offices in Isiolo. We have offices in Karisa. Those are physical operating offices. We have desk offices in Marsabit. We have a desk office in Migori. We have a desk office in Wajir. We have a desk office in Mandera. We have officers across the country who serve various zones. The office in Nakuru, for example, serves both the North and South Rift. Nairobi, we serve Nairobi and the surrounding counties. The far-flung northern counties, we have desks which serve our members as well. So any of the claims can be launched there. The last question was on land. If somebody has land, can LAF Fund develop? And then I'm not clear, who collects rent? LAF Fund collect rents? Yes, it's a difficult question because LAF Fund, we invest for the benefit of our members. We may not be in the business of doing joint ventures with land or property owners. In any case, LAF Fund has quite substantial investment in property portfolio, and for now, we are not considering the option of or the route of investing with people who have land is not one of our investment options. We are duly guided by the Retirement Benefits Act on how we will invest, and I believe there are very many challenges we will need to ask, the questions we will need to ask ourselves before we even go that route of investing on somebody else's property. There are legal questions, there are ethical questions, and very many other questions. So, to the member, I think the investment in land, in personal land, and then collecting rent is not available to us. I think I've answered that. Any other question? We are nearing the end of our AGM.
Yes, one more question.
Yes.
Someone is asking whether lab fund is only for county workers or whether it is open to every other Kenyan. Thank you.
Yes, LAF Fund principally serves, that's a question I may repeat, whether LAF Fund serves is only for a scheme for county government employees or for all other Kenyans. Yes, LAF Fund principally serves employees of county government and associated organizations like water companies, but gradually, LAF Fund also has expanded their horizon in terms of coverage to even include other organizations outside the county government. We now cover employees who work for SACCOs, employees in other public institutions, and we have what we call individual products. We have several products that are available to our members. Maybe to answer directly, the question is whether we can serve an individual member, whether an individual member out there can join. I would like to say that's also viable. We can also enroll individuals through the individual pension plan that we have put in place, but we always, we basically serve established institutions who have established structures. But I would like to encourage individuals who are interested can also approach us, and we'll be able to work out some retirement plan for them. I think those are the questions for now, and I want to thank our members for those questions. Keep the questions coming on our members portal. The way it was announced earlier, we'll be able to respond to all those questions online. If you have given us your email, we'll also be able to email you. If you have given us your telephone contact, we'll be able to call you and maybe give you the response verbally or even write to you. If you you'll give us, we'll of course discuss and give you, once you give us your contact, we'll send you all the information that is there that you require. Because LAF Fund, I think what has kept us going is communication with our members. Communication is very important. Any member who has a question, please post it in our website. Go to our website, go to our members portal, ask the question, and you shall be responded. We have a call center, which is functional. Call the call center, and I think all your questions will be also answered. Thank you very much. I now want to hand over back to Veronica to tell us the next course.
Thank you very much, CEO, for responding to all the member questions that we have received so far. Members, as you have heard, you are invited to continue sending in your questions. Just ensure that you give us your full names, the sponsor, from where you are coming from, and your contact details, and we shall surely get back to you with comprehensive responses. We pride ourselves in interacting with our members. And as they say, information is power. So if you need any information, we are here to provide it. As we are coming to the end of our meeting today, we invite one of our board members, one of our board of trustee members, Mr. Marco Keo, to give a vote of thanks for this day. Welcome, Director.
Good morning. Good morning. My name's Udongo Marco Keo. I'm a board member at LAF Fund. It is my privilege to talk on behalf of the board and give thanks to those I feel and the board on behalf of the board that I feel we need to be thanked. First and foremost, I want to thank the Almighty God, Allah, the ever-present, for giving us opportunity to serve in various capacities in Love Fund. Thanks be to him. I want to thank the national government of Kenya for giving us a conducive environment to carry out their business, both within the organization and outside. I will not forget the county governments through which we get the highest support in running our organization. They are our members, we have our contributors, we have our sponsors, and other stakeholders. The regulator, I won't forget you, the custodian, the auditor general, and the fund managers, and all that are associated with it. We thank you. We don't take your service lightly, and we honor you for the same. To the members of the board, as I talk on your behalf, I must acknowledge that we appreciate what you've done to make us see this day alight. To our nice staff, lovely staff, the effort you put to see this day and any other operation, we thank you, we appreciate you. To the facilitators, I thank you. And the presenters on this day, whatever capacity, whether you are a photographer, whether you are a light in charge of light, sound, and everything, you're part of this journey with us. I thank you for the same. To the this hotel, the staff, NTV staff, all the social medias, and those who made sure we have access to social media as an organization, thanks be to you. In this world, there are known people, the silent ones, who by accident could have accessed the internet, the social media, and participated in our proceedings. We thank you for being part of us and making this day a success. We thank you and encourage you to be part of this family. Thank you and thank you again. That is my end of the. If I've forgotten anybody, please thank yourself. You want to say pray?
Director Marco Keo, I also thank you for giving the vote of thanks. I now call upon Pastor Bishop Sylvester Mutie to lead us with a closing prayer for this wonderful day that the Lord has made. I think indeed we have rejoiced in it and we have had a successful AGM. Welcome, Mutie.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. My name's CPS Sylvester Mutie. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we say thank you for this day. This is the day which you meant and you knew that we will be gathered here, Lord, talking to our members. We say thank you because we called upon your name while we were beginning this function. And Lord, you have been with us throughout the function. Thank you for each and every speaker who has spoken. And thank you for our members, wherever they are, and their families. Thank you for all our sponsors. Father, we pray that you continue being with them in each and every place they are. We say thank you for the Board of Trustees and the management of Love Fund. And we pray that you give them the wisdom to continue investing prudently the members' fund and make this institution the prepared scheme in this country for secured retirement of our members. In Jesus' mighty name we do pray. Amen. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Asante sana.
Dear members, we have come to the end of our AGM today. Indeed, with much appreciation to you for tuning in from the different parts of this country. And we look forward to a productive year ahead. And we shall see you again in the course of the year in our different interactions, and also at a similar AGM next year, next financial year, which should be next also calendar year. Thank you and God bless.